Hey everyone, welcome to the studio with James, live in the studio today. We're going to be talking about veterans issues, doing tech stuff, what projects you're working on. As you see the bottom, let me know if you're a veteran and what service you were in. I definitely want to know that, what service you were in, and when did you serve as well. So, got a couple friends on with me today. Dale and Gordy are here with me today. We're going to chit chat about all kind of different stuff. So happy to have them aboard, and we'll get this thing rocking and rolling. Gordy, would you introduce yourself today and tell us what all you're up to?
Absolutely. Gordy Tamao out of Boise, Idaho. Pleasure to be on here with you, James. Thank you for having us live in the studio. I, I'm founder, owner, operator of a digital marketing agency known as Digital Unicorn. And an offshoot of that, we own a publication called theboisebeat.com where we, used to jumpstart businesses and brands and whatnot. And yeah, so we're just involved in the digital marketing space, the tech space as well, and the software that we offer businesses and whatnot. And excited to be here. Thanks for having us.
Awesome. Hey, my friend Dale King here with us too. Would you introduce yourself, Dale, and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Dale King here with Syndicate. We do promotion and connections. That's our passion. I work with Gordy on Digital Unicorn. I'm really functioning as a CMO with Gordy. And my high point for the day is I think I just built the best sales presentation I've ever built.
Well, that's
Nice.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool deal. So, so I'll let you guys start with what you guys have. I know you guys had some questions about some things that we're doing together, so I'll let you guys ask away, and then we'll go from there and see what we wind up in.
Shoot, Gordy.
Yeah. Well, James, I want to start just by picking your brain. First of all, kind of maybe a softball question, I guess you could call it. And for
Sure.
anybody else that might be jumping on here, paying attention and listening, of you know, how do you see or what do you see is as the importance of having like a well-developed tech stack in a company? In a small business, let's say there's so much that's out there currently. There's a lot that personally I've witnessed that small businesses don't leverage, and a lot of it is because they just don't know what's available out there and how to connect the dots. And it's one of the areas that I've thoroughly enjoyed helping people kind of solve that problem is to figure out, even in the smallest sense, right, of how to utilize certain things that can help them move the needle forward. It could be anything from starting in the lead generation space to, hey, how do you start developing content and getting it out there in a streamlined way that doesn't take away another 10, 20 hours of your work week or require you to add on another employee. What would you say? Because you've been in this space for a while and developing much more elaborate systems and whatnot, but at its most basic level, what would you say is the importance of, business owners or somebody that's getting started in bootstrapping of developing, a proper tech stack?
I and that's a great question. I think there's a lot of ways you can go with that, but for me, when obviously I want to take care of somebody's business. I want to help them grow. I'll give you a for instance. I had a client about 5.5 years ago, and she's a real good friend, first of all. And so I approached her. I said, "Hey, I'm getting my digital marketing business up and running. I'd love to see if I can help you out." And I said, "What are you guys doing now?" And her first answer goes, "What is digital marketing?
Hmm.
What does that even mean?" And I think that that's where the problem lies right there, is that a lot of small business owners they don't know what they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first key, is bringing some education, very low level education. Hey, what is digital marketing? What does it mean to have a static website versus a dynamic website? What does it mean to have forms that people can fill out information? They get an automated email. You get a notification that they've been on your website. What does that kind of stuff do for your business? And that's one of the things that right off the get go that I think about with clients, that and small businesses specifically, they just don't know what they don't know. They just don't have a clue what's out there. They don't have an idea Well, where do I go next? What do I do next?
Right.
They just don't know. And so I try to be really um, upfront with them and say, hey, look, this is what's going on in business today. If you're going to grow your business, you're going to need to do X, Y, Z. And that usually is a layout plan of having, let's get you seen on the web first. Let's get Google My Business done. Let's get some traffic coming to your website. If we can do that first, then we can start talking about email campaigns. Then we can start talking about, ads and social media and YouTube and Google ads as well. But I think you have to start off with the very basics, and I think that's what a lot of small business owners don't even know. They'll go and Google it, or they'll look on YouTube. What do I do? And they'll get a semblance of something, but there's no real education there. And I think it's the first step of helping these small businesses, medium businesses, entrepreneurs, is understanding what's even available to them in an educational format. If you do that, I think that you can help them along the way. Number one, probably come on board with you and joining your business and hiring you to do the work that they need done, because most of them have no clue to do that. We just were hired last fall to take on a very large company who had no idea about their tech stack at all. They had a company managing email. They had a website that was in complete disarray. And yesterday I was able to have a great conversation with the COO. And he's like, man, everything works so amazing now. Our website works. We're getting more. We cannot almost handle. We're going to have to throttle back the leads that we're getting for business because we actually can't hire enough employees fast enough right now.
Wow.
They're super niche business. But the gist of that is, if you will take them slowly through the process of, you need this website, let's get some Google My Business going and a couple other things open up for yourself, you can be on the road to having a business that's going to attract the kind of clientele that you want to have.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. Do you think there's a difference between in that thought process or methodology of somebody that's operating a physical location versus somebody that's doing, a business that doesn't have a, brick and mortar storefront?
Yes and no. So yes, when it comes to having a brick and mortar, you can really put them on the page with Google if you know how to do everything right. You go in there, you set them up, and then all of a sudden, like I have a client that has I call it a less than optimal website. They didn't want an optimal website. They wanted something that was kind of cheesy. That's probably not what I would build for them in the first place, but they wanted something like that. And they have set in the top 1, 2, and 3, and maybe 4 sometimes of the search engine for their location, because they're a location centric place. And their brick and mortars, they're overwhelmed. And they've been that busy for now almost 5 years. And it's never even during COVID, they were getting overwhelmed online. And so, and I try to get them, hey, take your business online and we can scale it even more. And she's like, oh, I'm afraid of online because I don't know that we can handle online. I'm like, well, that's what you hired me for, to manage that part of it. Because I think we could have scaled her 4 or 5 times, 6 times up, and she had already scaled about 5 times in the first 4 or 5 months. So I think understanding, the logistics of doing the physical stuff. But if you're an online business and you're only online, there's mechanisms that you need to have in place. And if you don't, I think one of the most important ones, if you're an online business, you have to have a tremendous amount of automations because you're going to wear yourself out and you're going to work yourself thin where you can't take care of all your clients.
Speaking of automations and getting help, I should say, what would you say is the point where somebody pivots from, hey, I'm wearing 50 different hats, doing everything, to, let me outsource some help. Let me hire, an agency to help me. Let me get some assistance or hire an employee, or a contractor, part-time, etc.
I'll just tell you my experience. I was getting so many websites to do that I could not keep up, and I got introduced to a developer who's just fantastic. He's fast, efficient, and very talented, and super creative.
Mm,
And so we met last May a year ago, and by the end of June, he was my guy.
mm,
And he and I are branching out into other projects now because it's been successful enough for us to do that. I think
mhm,
you have to figure out what that one item that you don't want to first take care of is, and
mm,
then find that person that can take care of that. And
mhm,
I think you're not looking for the guy that's a master of every trade and every skill. You're looking for that person that has maybe two or three skills.
mhm,
My developer is also he's an expert on Google ads and YouTube
mm,
ads. So he takes care of those two items for me, and it's off my plate. I don't have to worry about it. All I got to do is
mm,
send a quick email or a WhatsApp, and
mhm.
they're done within an hour.
That's
So
awesome.
I think understanding what you need, identifying that spot, and going after it will really help you thicken your bandwidth at that point in time.
Yeah, which I think connects back to what you said earlier about, you know, really asking what it is that you need done. And I think that maybe that's something that's so little or so seemingly clear, but it's often overlooked because there's just so many things. You start talking about digital marketing or branding or building your business, and you got 5 million different pieces that are going on. It's like, where do you start? But to your point, asking, what do I need done? Like right now.
Exactly.
It's good.
That's good stuff. I think
Mich-
I was going to share this. Sometimes you need to be in the moment in your business. So this morning I was working on a project. I finished all the list of it. And this is a project for myself, honestly. And so I'm working through it. And the guy that developed the software, I was like, man, I need to ask him like three questions. So I pulled up his Zoom. I went and jumped on his Zoom. And when his Zoom opened up, it was just him by himself there because he sits on Zoom all day long.
oh, really?
Clients coming in and out, and that's how he takes care of his clients. And so
Mm,
it was just me and him for about 20 minutes. And I got to ask him a couple questions. And that turned into a project that he was able to offload on me because I'm his guy, because I'm the expert in GHL for him. And for those that are watching, you don't know, GHL is Go High Level. And we'll put a link down there below in the description of the after the video's done for GHL. But he needed to unload this project for GHL and connecting it up for a brand new affiliate that he has coming on that's going to help him grow his business.
mm,
So that was just a little piece of business for me. I'll go and build it probably in the next hour or so. I'll have it done, and then he'll be off to the races,
mm.
and I'll get a piece of that because that piece that I'm gonna build for him, I'm gonna actually use it myself to market one of the products I sell.
That's awesome.
So I get to use it, and it becomes a twofold deal for me.
Mm.
What you
Nice.
got going on there, Mr. Dale King?
Well, I've been actually digging into some market trends. It's like, why digital marketing, right? Why?
Sure.
And you start looking at the future trends and the amount of dollars. They're looking at business to consumer digital marketing. Looking at in 2024, it's of course it's up, but it's up to 6.9 trillion U.S. numbers. And by 2034, and that's what I'm looking at is those trends of the next several years, it's going to have a CAGR. So that's an annual growth rate, right? Of about 18% a year. And so while it sits at about 6 trillion, almost 7 trillion this year, within 10 years, it's going to be a 37.5 trillion approximately spent. All that being said, that just means everybody's coming online. It
Right,
just simply
100%.
means everybody's coming online. If you're not figuring this out, then do you have a business? And there's, in fact, one of the same articles, or another one of these articles I read, is like they're saying like half of the E&M, so entertainment and media CEOs, more than half. Right now, about 45% of all CEOs are saying their current business path won't be viable in 10 years. And then the E&M guys, that's 45%. The E&M, so entertainment marketing CEOs, are saying like 57% of them are saying their current business path won't be viable in 10 years. It's like,
wow,
we are in a massive disruption. And if you want to play ball here, you got to get in. And but it's very doable too. It's just learning new stuff.
It is. I would suggest, and I was reading this morning that, and I saved the note somewhere. I have to go find it, but how in 10 years, with the advent of AI and how it will be just utilized inside of digital marketing only,
right,
in the digital space, it will not eliminate a lot of jobs. What it will do, it will eliminate people that don't want to use AI,
right,
and that's who's going to get eliminated. So the people that don't want to use AI, people like me that utilize AI, will take their jobs. It won't be the AI that takes it; it'll be me. I'll take their job, and and it won't be any aggression for me to do it. It'll just naturally flow my way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Mississippi. It's the largest river in the United States, has the largest basin in the United States. It goes wherever it wants to go, and that's what AI is going to do in the digital space. It's going to go where it wants to go, and there's nobody that's going to stop it. The feds can try to put regulations on it, but it's going to be utilized.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be utilized widely as it is right now, and I think that the tech boom that we saw in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, we're going to see probably something on the order of 100x of that.
Yeah. Yep.
With AI. And a friend of mine who was sharing his, and I won't say the number, but the numbers that he's doing right now because of AI are probably 100x to what he was doing a year and a half ago.
Wow.
And he's fully AI. He became fully AI late fall, early winter last year. And I saw his numbers this morning. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's crazy. So it makes sense that if we have the opportunity to do this, to jump in the AI stream, and that's part of what I'm doing. I launched, as a side of announcing things, I launched an AI engager this morning, a Genius Engager. I should say this morning. Yeah, I guess it was this morning. So it'll start up either this afternoon or tomorrow morning, and it'll engage with AI, and it'll sound just like me. It'll be hard to tell it's not me, and it's to drive business my way. And it should. The one I'm modeling after is generating. I shouldn't say causing. It's generating about 2,500 engagements a month. And all I need, if you think about your business and what your ROI has to be, for me, 10 engagements that sign on the dotted line, I mean, that's money in the bank. And so the next part of that is, how do we get our clients to see that same thing? And so I'm going to use AI in every place I can to engage. Because
I'd like to talk to you about using that for my Beyond Limits series.
Absolutely. And I'll show you. What we'll do is, once we finish this live stream, we'll jump on our other deal, and I'll show you the backside of that.
Sweet.
Right.
I don't have permission to show it publicly, but I can show it privately.
No, that'd be amazing.
Pretty freaking amazing.
I bet.
So, but hey, I want to jump on piggyback a little bit about what you're talking about. People getting on board and changing. It's funny because I'm doing that Beyond Limits series, and which again, I get up every day and I'm thinking about what can I talk about with Beyond Limits. So when you think every morning about moving beyond your limits, you start seeing the world different. Because I'm like in a constant, challenge, and I'm accountable to people because I put it out there and I've started talking about it. But I wanted to bring up something really quickly about experience I had when I was teaching HTML pages back in 2000. Okay, so remember the day,
Oh, yeah.
HTML and WYSIWYG editors and all that stuff, and pretty basic. But I remember this one gentleman, and a little older, but he was there, and he said, "Well, what happens when I push the button?" And I'm like, "I'm not telling you. You're going to have to push the button." And he's like, "Well, I'm afraid to. You know what's going to happen?" I'm like, "I'm not telling you what's going to happen when you push the button." And but it was like this kind of funny little thing that happened. But I realized like sometimes it's really hard to push the button, and it's like, you guys, it's not. We're past that era. We can't be like that anymore. We
Right.
have to push the button. We have to try it, and if you break it, you deal with it. But he wasn't going to break anything, but it was just new. And bless his heart, sweet old guy. But it was like, dude, there's no way I'm telling you what's going to happen. You're going to have to push the button.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
Very cool. Well, today is the inauguration of relaunching this live deal. I've got some stuff I'll do in the coming days and stuff that I want to go through, but I wanted to just come back on here and just talk about what this live is going to be like. I'm planning on trying to teach most days. I'll invite guests on that will do Q&A like we've done today, but I want to keep it fairly simple and short. There'll be days that I go 2 or 3 hours, but there's days that I'm going to keep it where we're going to go 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and that'll be it. Today, I'm going to keep it kind of short because we've got other agendas that the three of us are going to get after in a short bit on a different call. So thank you for joining. If you got to watch in the replay and you want to know more about Go High Level, I'll put a link down below. And we'll see you the next time. Hope you guys have a great day. God bless.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.